Well, good day everyone, and how you doing? Look at that sky. Doesn't it look gorgeous? Let's go inside, because that's where it ends. Today we have a Landrover LR2, and what we're doing to it is putting in a new Pioneer radio. Now this one has the Alpine factory stereo, so the kit we're going to be using is from a company called Spiral Audio. So today we're going to show you how to put a radio in one of these. What do you think, Fernando?
I'm excited. I'm
excited too, believe it or not. Let's get started. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the vehicle and see what we're dealing with. Like I said, it has the Alpine stereo built into it, which means this is going to be an amplified system. This is the factory radio right here. Not much to look at. Now, if you notice behind my head, that's the headliner. Apparently, she's going to be doing a little bit of reconstructive surgery on this car. First thing up is the radio. You ready?
Let's get to work.
Yeah, what he said. Let's get this radio out. There's some screws. All right. So underneath the rubber mat, we have 2 Torx screws. Yep. Screws. Okay, so the top bezel pops off so that you can get to the top 2 more Torx screws. So just to recap, we had to remove this whole front bezel here. To do that, you remove the piece that covers this area right here. There's 2 T20 Torx here, 2 T20 Torx here, and then if you start at the bottom and work your way up, this will all unsnap. Next, we went ahead and removed 4 T20 Torx here, and the faceplate comes off. The radio's still behind it. It's got a green plug and an orange plug. This orange plug is fiber optic, so whatever you do, don't go cutting into it. Now on the back of the radio brain itself, there's a second fiber optic plug, a big gray harness, and an antenna adapter. So what we're gonna do for right now is put a zip tie around the 2 sets of cables so we don't confuse the fiber optics. It looks like we might have to do some trimming on the dash, we might not, we'll know in a little bit. All right, we have this guy set. Let's go head over to the bench and see if we can figure out what cables go into which plugs. And it's the KTLR004RB. Another bag has their AA-0002, and then they have this IXLR003. Let's go ahead and open it up and grab out some instructions. Alright, so just like most instructions, it has some basic pictures, some disassembly instructions here, and of course these pictures are not the car we're going to be working on. I don't even think these dash kits are. Wow, okay, so a lot of weird stuff going on there. Let's open this guy up, see what it has. Landrover LR2 08 to 2012. Alright, so this has steering wheel control functions, ignition, preparation instructions for steering wheel control connector. Alright, so it's got a couple things. Obviously we'll read over and see what they look like. Let's see what we get in these bags. We get a dash bezel, and then we get the European style mount trim for it. And in this bag we get 1 brain box, 2 brain box, 3 brain box, and a fiber optic loop. We also get a bag of bullet connectors. So I'm guessing this is the steering wheel control module here because it has the Pioneer / Kenwood optical fiber optic interface, Well, we got a lot of cool parts. Going over and reading the instructions, basically what we found is that for the most part this is a pretty generic harness to hook up. You have the fiber optic loop. The fiber optic loop is going to go down below next to the green plug. So that first fiber optic cable removed is going to get the loop. Let's go ahead and plug it in right now so it doesn't get lost. So when we took the radio out, as you saw, we put a zip tie around the 2 bundles. This loop is going to go in the bundle with the green. So we'll just go ahead and plug that in just like that, and we're all good to go. Now keep in mind, this is fiber optic. Don't bend this. This doesn't need to be bent at all. If you want to unravel this and tuck it down low in the dash, that would probably be a good idea because you don't want to break this cable. It doesn't need to get pinched. There might be enough room, so we'll wait till the end and find out. All right, let's go back to the workbench. Let's go ahead and remove this single zip tie here. That way we can kind of spread this out and see what's going on. Let's kind of look at this one brain box at a time. This guy right here is going to be some form of conversion for data bus. So it has a power and ground going into it, and it looks like the data bus wires. We're gonna go ahead and tape this guy off because there's no aftermarket that needs to get connected to it. This box over here is clearly going to be for your fiber optic input. This input right here is the fiber optic. Right now it has a dummy fiber optic blocker in there to keep dust and debris out. So that's all that's going to get connected to this. On the other end of it, it has RCAs. These are going to be the inputs into the radio. So this is going to be a left and right configuration only. It's not going to have front and rear or anything like that. And you're not going to be using any of the speaker wires that come out of the radio. In the middle here, we have this guy here, which looks like it's going to be the steering wheel control interface, as well as the navigation or smart wire generator. So we have a purple, white, a pink, and a green. Let's make sure these do what they're supposed to do. So pink is VSS, which is normal, violet is reverse, and green is brake. These are standard wire colors. That's a nice thing. Now, since the plugs are separate in the harness, we'll go ahead and tape them up separately. The green harness was plugged in behind the screen. The gray harness was plugged into the CD portion. Well, not that the harness makes any more sense, but at least it's not as chaotic as far as how the wiring looks. What we're going to be concerned with now that we have all this separated out, like we said, this plugs into the back of the radio. We have this guy right here. This is the basic power plug that's going to connect to the radio. All we have to hook up is ground, accessory, remote turn on, illumination, and constant 12 volt. These guys right here are why they gave us these 3 bullet connectors. Speaker wires aren't going to be used. The steering wheel control harness over here on the back page gives you a description of how to hook it up depending on what radio you have. So in this case we have a Pioneer. It's going to be instruction number 1. What it says is plug this, the 1/8 inch, which we've done a bunch of times, into the back of the radio. The blue yellow wire that was coming off here is for Kenwood and JVC. There's also 3 loops on here that we're not supposed to cut. Now, depending on which radio you have, you may or may not have to cut those, so make sure you just refer to the last page of the instructions on your specific radio. All we have to do is get these few wires here soldered up, and we can go ahead and test this and see if it works. So the harness is all set. We've gone ahead and plugged in the adapter. We have our purple white wire that we can plug into their purple white wire, just like that. What we want to do is we're going to go ahead and plug this into the back of the radio. This is going to go into the front output of the radio. Make sure you put it in the front. Remember, all the Bluetooth, all the Siri, all the everything comes out of these fronts. If you put it anything other than the front, you're not going to be able to hear them talk. Now we'll go ahead and plug this into the car. We'll plug the dash back in. I wonder if we can remove that. We'll go ahead and remove this hazard switch so we don't have to have this whole big dash here. Now this is strictly for testing purposes. You guys don't have to do this. Plug in our antenna. We'll plug in the green harness here. Plug in our gray harness. We'll go ahead and unclip and remove this fiber optic plug that they have in here. Plug in our fiber optics to it. So we have everything plugged in that needs to be plugged in. Go ahead and turn it on. Well, we got sound. Oh, look at that. The steering wheel controls work.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
You see?
I'm excited. Alright, so we have the volume up and down working. We have the presets searching. If you press and hold on a Pioneer, it'll automatically scan. Doesn't have the best FM reception, that's for sure. We have mode. Turn this thing back off and start building the dash kit.
I went and removed the AC controls because we're gonna go ahead and cut the bottom side like a square right here, and maybe on the sides so we can attach this 3 big boxes. We done cutting the bottom of the dash. You have to be careful because under this panel runs the fiber optic. Try to move the harness as far as you can so you don't cut it. And here we go.
Comes nice and bubble wrapped for protection. So this little piece here has all these little tabs, these little fragile tabs on them. So it looks like there's a little bit of seaming where the kit was designed. So we'll just go ahead and flatten those out so the cage will fit in. All right, let's try it again. When you're doing these type of cages, obviously you have to push these little tabs up. What you want to do is try to look on the back here and figure out what is going to be the best ones to lock it into place. How these guys work is there's two little teeth on each end here, and then there's all these little tabs right here. And this piece is going to line up with these little tabs, and then you're going to take the tapered head screws, the ones that have the little V-cut to it, and you're going to screw this thing into place. The reason why it has so many tabs is that way you can adjust how far out the radio sticks so it will flush up with the trim bezel here. It may take once or twice to get it right. Once you get one side right, then just count the holes, and you can do that on the other side. Alright, so we're all set here. Let's go into the car and check and see where Fernando's at with the Bluetooth mic. Up here by the rearview mirror, it was long enough. It really had to snake around, but it did make it here to the radio. It was that tight, huh?
Yes.
He just showed you, he went ahead and removed all that. Now we have room for all these harnesses here. Alright, slide it into place. What's the weather like today?
It's currently clear and...
Alright, lastly, all we have to do is snap the top bezel back into place. Alright, so that's it. That's how you install a radio in a Landrover LR2. I gotta be honest with you, as far as like all the exotic kits that we've done, this one has been great.
Nicely, yes.
I mean, most of the time, we're at least calling tech support at least once because there's some silliness involved, or it's just really, I mean, okay, the instructions on this were terrible. The instructions they did have gave us enough information to do what we needed to do. This was definitely nice. They thought these things through. You know, the one thing that it didn't have, which would have been nice, is the ability to reprogram the steering wheel controls. The buttons do what they're supposed to do. Yes. So, you know, everything is functioning, volume up, volume down, track mode. Would have been nice if we could have reprogrammed like mode, but I'm not losing any sleep over that. So if you guys need to put a radio in your Land Rover, check out the Spiral Audio Kit. That's it for today, guys. As usual, thanks for watching. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you later next time.
On to the next one.
Bye.